Some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist. I wondered what would change. I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I have today.
Good morning. Let's get into it, y'all. This is 1100 FBI Neutral Line. Yes, this is one street over Winfield, y'all. This is again, let's see, what is it? It's Wednesday in Robertson County, and if you're joining us from other places, well, welcome to it. We love having you here, and you will probably learn something today that's applicable not just to our county, because I've got Scott Erwin in here, and he is with our Veterans Resource Office. So if you have any veterans in your life, you're going to learn some stuff today, because Gwen told me, she goes, he's got a lot to share.
We do.
And it's been a minute since I've seen you. We were just talking as we were getting everything set up and get going. Last time you came in while I was on the mission trip in Mexico. Mm-hmm. So I missed you. Y'all are kind of on a rotation, you guys.
Yes, ma'am.
And so Gwen and I, we go way back, road friends. And I messaged her last night. I'm saying, who's coming tomorrow? Because I hadn't heard from anybody. And she was like, it's Scott's turn. So I'm so glad to catch up with you.
It's good to be here. Great to be here.
How are y'all liking the new office?
Love it.
Oh,
Love it. We feel spoiled.
I know.
We're blessed.
Yeah,
So.
I've heard. Yeah, Mayor Vogel's even told me, he goes, man, they got nice digs over there. And he goes, the mayor's in there as well. So good stuff. Good stuff. But what have you been doing?
Staying busy.
Oh, I know.
Staying busy. You know, it seems like we stay so steady that it seems like there'd be a lull, but there's very few of those lulls. I was on the phone at 8 o'clock last night with a veteran from Nevada who he actually works out there at Area 51, but he spent some time in the Marine Corps, and he was, he got out mid-90s, early 90s, never addressed his benefits. Other veterans he works with are getting their disability benefits and compensation. He says, God, I need some help. Yeah. And so with the time difference, I had to make sure I was available to call him later. And so, yeah. And he was I helped another veteran here locally who happened to be friends with him. Yeah. And that's how we get a lot of our business is word of mouth. Right.
And it's amazing to me, because I was this past weekend visiting with some family and talking about we've got some Vietnam veterans in the family up in Michigan. Mm-hmm. And just talking with some of the family members about, well, are you aware of these benefits? Are you aware of the effects of Agent Orange? Different things like that. And the mindset of so many from that generation is, well, I'm in one piece.
Yeah, right.
And they forget. It's like I was telling our aunt, I said, you understand, because their children, her husband, he's passed, and I'm sure it was from stuff from Agent Orange, and he never tapped into that. Mm-hmm. The VA took really good care of him, and as far as he was concerned, and so he had what he needed. But I said, do you understand that because the boys were born post-Vietnam, it could affect them?
Absolutely.
And you really need to be looking into it. And she was not aware of that. And I said, this is a big study in at Vanderbilt. It's the lady that comes and speaks all the time. She's a Vanderbilt researcher, isn't she?
Yes, ma'am. It's her and another gentleman with her. They're both physicians at Vanderbilt.
Amazing stuff that they have talked about. And so if you have children that were born post-Vietnam, you really need to check into this. You know, you may be fine, but what if it affects them later on? And we've got so many cases where it has, because it changes you down to your DNA. It's crazy. Yeah, what that nasty stuff did.
And I met them probably a couple months ago at a Legion meeting, as actually a VFW meeting. They came to speak and present, and it was informative. Things I didn't even know. Multiple generations, 3 or 4 generations down from you, it can affect.
It's crazy. But we're talking with Scott Erwin. He is with the Veterans Resource Office here in Robertson County. Best one in the state. I mean, best one in the U.S. I mean, let's just be real. They take really good care of our veterans. We are super blessed. That's why people are calling him from Nevada, is because they've heard about the results that you guys in your office have been able to obtain, and they know you know what you're doing. And so, guys, they're right here in Robertson County. They're in the new, what are y'all calling that office? It's the
It's the
plaza.
yes, it's
something.
the annex. I believe the
Yeah.
Robertson County Annex is right across from the county building.
Right. And it's lovely. And I've got to come in there and visit because I want to see it. I've been hearing all these brags from, from you
beautiful.
guys and from Mayor, and 911's in there too, aren't they?
Yes, ma'am.
I think 911's in there. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. The county engineer is off. He's got an office back there, along with Lori and the mayor and us.
Yeah. So very good. It's a nice place. And, we just getting it right here in Robertson County. We just love it. So Gwen said you have a lot to talk about. So we'll quit saying hello and just get right to it. What all do we need to cover? It says you got a lot today.
There's a lot going on, which is a good thing. So let's see, starting October, I should have brought my glasses, but starting October the 7th, the PGA Hope will be back in Springfield. They're going to be at the Legacy Golf Course. And what that is it's a program sponsored and funded by the PGA, Professional Golf Association of America. So it's a golf outing, golf lessons. It's a series of lessons. It lasts about six Mondays in a row, starting on Monday, October the 7th, 9:30 to 11:30. It's 6 sessions. It's paid for. It's for veterans. Veteran specific, and it's designed to get veterans out of the house, for their morale, get them moving. Years ago, I was into golf, and golf lessons can be very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that these are PGA professionals and LPGA professionals on the ladies' side, and it's free, it's paid for. So by the PGA. So there is you have to sign up. And the way you sign up, the registration is open now, is through www.pgareach.org. And anyone who's interested can sign up, veterans, ladies, gentlemen, doesn't matter. If you got the Mondays to commit for 6 in a row, 9:30 to 11:30, starting October the 7th, you can come out to Legacy Golf Course is where it's at.
Is it just for Robertson County, or is it any veteran?
Any veterans.
Well, my son would be all over this, but I know he can't get that much time off from work. But he would love that. They were talking, we were with HCA yesterday. My son got a big award. So if you haven't heard about that, very proud of you, Jedediah. But we were at HCA yesterday, and they were talking about a golf event coming up.
Yeah.
And so he would love to do this, but that's going to be the thing, is taking that time from 9 to 11 for 6 Mondays in a row.
9:30 to 11:30, starting October the 7th.
Okay.
And you can sign up now online.
Well, you retired guys, get out there, go do that. How many do they have a limit on how many can join?
They do, and I don't recall the limit in there, but there's also a cutoff that I meant to bring with me, a deadline to register.
Okay.
But I think that a couple of ladies last year, when I was talking with Terry, they were dependent spouses, but there were open slots that they had, and they could have been veterans, Terry said, but they're going to want to fill those slots because they're paid for. So if you're a veteran and you're interested, come out. Doesn't cost you nothing. You don't even have to bring your clubs.
Oh, wow.
If you don't have clubs, they will provide everything there.
Okay.
So.
Okay. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Oh, he would love that. But I can't imagine. I'll mention it to him. He might.
Yeah.
Because he can work remotely sometimes. So he might be able to kind of, maneuver stuff.
It'd be nice to be on the golf course working remote.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can. That's amazing. The technology and the way things work now just blows my mind. People working from, out on the beach, and they're working, So anyway, but that is great. Now, so they need to register right now. Tell them again how to register for that, in case if you want to get some golf lessons and you're a veteran, here's an opportunity for you. 6 Mondays in a row, and it starts on what day?
Monday, October the 7th.
Okay, and you've got to register right now, and you register where?
And it's www.pgareach.org.
Okay.
Yep.
One more time.
www.pgareach, that's REACH.org.
Okay.
And if you forget the site, didn't have time to write it down, just call the office.
Okay.
and we'll make sure they get squared away.
Why don't you, and you can find our veteran service office by just going Veterans Springfield.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Robertson County, Springfield Veterans Service Office is what you're looking for. But you can find them so easily. They pop up very quickly on the Google.
And that's thanks to Gwen and Chet, our county IT. Gwen's been working with Chet for over a year now to really get our social media site updated.
Yeah.
And with current information, address, different links you can click on. So we're, I think, much easier to find than we used to be.
Right. And one of the things that makes this office so successful is how much you guys all love your job. I know Gwen loves her job because she's my, close friend, but I mean, just hearing from all of you,
Yeah.
you love what you do because you're a retired veteran. How long did you serve?
Did 20 years. I was a medic and spent my time in the fun sands of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm thankful every day
Yeah.
to do what we get to do. My father was a veteran, Vietnam veteran, and he passed away of heart disease in 15. I had a veteran in my office yesterday. He drove all the way from Davidson County, and he said, Scott, I went to a disability exam for his compensation, and I was told to come see you. And so
Wow.
I laughed a little bit, and I said, well, I'm glad you're here. That's the first I've run into, but I love that the word is spreading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oftentimes what we need to do isn't that difficult. It's just a matter of getting them plugged in.
Mm-hmm.
They never knew about 1, 2, or 3. And
Right.
that's why we're here.
Very good. Very good. And I mean, and the fact that you guys can help people outside the county, I think is wonderful.
Absolutely.
And as much as they can. And the way the structure of the office works, let's go ahead and mention that because I know you're actually in the office certain days and then you're remote certain days. And then there's appointment days and then there's walk-in days. So can you kind of unpack for people the schedule
Yes, ma'am.
of the office?
So a couple weeks ago, I got to address the county commissioners here in Robertson County, and it was a little bit nerve-wracking. It was quite a few in attendance and sitting in the crowd. But I let them know our hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. If you call our office, Gwen's going to answer that phone.
Yeah.
If Gwen has to step out or is on the line, one of us will answer, myself or Abigail Ware. She's our other county service officer. And if you leave a message, we're going to call you back. So on Mondays and Fridays, the reason I wanted to address the commission with Mayor Vogel's approval was on Mondays and Fridays, there's a lot of research that goes into claims that we do. I know that Terry spent 100 hours on one claim before, and that is just an enormous amount of time. Our office has done very well at getting claims through that other counties have not had success with. So, and that's done through research and getting documentation together. So on Mondays and Fridays, we're answering phones, we're filing claims. I'm calling veterans in Nevada, or out of state, in county. We're taking care of business on Mondays and Fridays, but we just work from home.
Right.
And then on Tuesday and Thursday, we do appointments. We try to make those 2 days appointment days. And Wednesday, we have walk-in. When we started this over a year ago, there were a lot of our veterans who didn't want to commit to an appointment. And Gwen would tell them, walk in on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. It is first come, first serve. Sometimes it's nonstop, out the door. Other days are a little bit better, less busy, but we're always fairly steady.
Okay. And I think that you almost have to have a couple of dedicated days to do the research because
You do.
I mean, that's a conversation I was having with my husband this morning about how wonderful it would be just to have a week inside the classroom, uninterrupted, to where I could do all the things I need to do, just the research and think, because and this is not, it's not the same thing as it's apples and oranges, but in the way it is, when you've got something that because I'm trying to research new curriculum and create curriculum, and it's tedious and it's time consuming, and it's just, to have that dedicated time to just be able to dig into it, you got to have that.
Yeah.
And so I just think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if we can't, get a week for teachers for us just to go in our classrooms and just work.
You'd be
Wouldn't that be
amazed. You can get a lot done.
Yes.
I was 400 or 500 pages deep in a record just this week. And sometimes there's 2,000 pages.
Oh,
But I think that's one of the things that separates our office was I go page by page by page,
wow.
and I'm looking for ER visits. I'm looking for a medical visit, anything, and we'll document and make notes. My passion was there before I came here to work with Terry in 19, but what I got to do with Terry is learn how he did business and learn how when the VA says no, maybe that's not the right answer.
Right.
And so I've learned to just dig and dig and research, why they deny something. Well, let's get them what we didn't have. So, and I think there's just no question. I love Abigail and Gwen. They've been just a godsend to the office. I think it's functioning so well now.
Y'all have got a great team.
Couldn't be
Really
happier.
do.
Couldn't be
You've got a
happier.
perfect team.
So, and
And,
Terry is too.
Yeah, and of course, having Terry in there all the time would be wonderful, but he's retired and all those things. But y'all do have a great team. You have
Absolutely.
just a perfect team, and because I know y'all well, and I can't say enough, and just have such a heart for our veterans. And as we're talking about this, some things are occurring to me that I want to not miss. We talked a little bit about the implications of the DNA and all that. We touched on the people that are doing the research. Do you have any kind of a connection point that we could give people that if they're wanting to dig into that more? Do you have names, or is there, for some reason I want to say there's like a publication that they did about
there
it.
is.
Is there a book?
There is. What I'll do is next time we come in next month,
Okay.
whoever comes here to speak on behalf of the office, I will make sure they get that information pushed out
Okay.
and how to dig into some of that research and data that those two geneticists at Vanderbilt are involved in.
Because talking with my aunt, I really think that it kind of perked her up when we told her about that it could affect her two boys. And I think she was kind of like, I need some information. I think anybody that had children post-Vietnam would want to at least know about the studies. So if any of these things arise, that you can be aware and be proactive.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I'm sorry. That was one of those little rabbits to chase. I thought we really need to put that out there because I really think there's going to be a lot of people that want to know a little bit more about that.
And just keep in mind too, along that same subject, that oftentimes there are a lot of things the VA will presume automatically it's connected to service based on exposure. Other times there are medical diagnoses that a veteran has where it's not on the VA's black and white list, but maybe a cancer doctor says his cancer was caused by Agent Orange, but it's not on the VA's list. So we see a lot of that in the office. And I think on the genetic side, I think it's still clearly something that's being studied and newer. They're learning more about all the time. So if you have a physician that your family goes to see and is involved with who believes that child's condition could have been linked to or caused by exposure of some sort, military-wise, then you need to come see us, because even though it's not on the VA's list, doesn't mean it's something that there's data out there about that we can't pull and find. So, because if you never come see us or never apply, it'll always be no.
Right.
So we just have to dig.
Yeah. And I again, we've got a great office here. And if you've got any questions about any of this stuff, you can reach out to them. And prior to the show, they come in on the fourth Wednesday. We had originally, they were coming in for the first Wednesday. We flipped that because if y'all have a meeting on that night before, that was becoming a conflict. So they are fourth Wednesday in here, but you can call them anytime. So if you're needing that information right now regarding this research, just reach out to the Veteran Service Office. Go ahead, Scott, give that number twice for me.
It is 615-382-6506. 615-382-6506.
Very good. And we've been talking about all the things. We always have to talk about the Agent Orange exposure and the things and what is happening with our Vietnam veterans. But we always have these wonderful events. We talked about the PGA training that you can get coming up here in a couple of weeks. If you want to commit 6 Mondays, we'll give that information again. But again, Gwen told me, she says, be sure he gets everything in. So let y'all stay on task. So what else have we got to talk about?
So a couple of weeks ago, we had some young ladies come into the office. One of them was, her name was Becky Gunn. They are the Daughters of the American Revolution. They're going to have a veteran celebration. Free food. It's chili lunch. It is RSVP. It's going to be held November the 9th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Free to veterans. And then the location is going to be Springfield United Methodist Church. So again, that's the Daughters of the American Revolution. And it's a flyer that Gwen's going to help us get posted at the, the local YMCA, the library, certainly in our office. We're trying to get the word out as much as we can.
Is that actually on Veterans Day?
On November 9th.
When is that? I can look it up real quick too. When actual Veterans Day it does fall, but I have some tasks.
So November 9th is a Saturday. The 11th is Veterans Day.
Okay, so that's the following Monday.
So I thought it was 11th. Yep.
And here's a little side note. Now I'm assuming that we're all in school on Veterans Day. Some schools take Veterans Day off. In Robertson County, we do not. And the explanation that I got from Dr. Causey, and I haven't asked the question of Dr. Weeks, but I'm assuming, I can check my calendar in just a second, but I'm assuming we're still in school because the belief from the school board previously has always been, we would rather have the kids in school so we can talk to them about veterans, just giving them a day off that they won't really fully understand. And so that's why they want you in school on Veterans Day, is so they can, talk about what Veterans Day is all about. I can pull up my teacher calendar and let you know, but I believe we will be in school on Veterans Day. So just keep that in mind. And we always do. And Coach Wood, he does a wonderful job, does a great presentation of veterans. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to check my calendar and something else came up. I hate it when we do that. But anyway, but he does a wonderful job for our veterans and does a great presentation in our auditorium. And so Terry's usually involved with that, but I don't know if that's happening this year, but I'm assuming it's happening. And I'll let you know real quickly here in just a second. What else do you have while I'm trying to pull up this date?
So, yeah, I know that we've got a phone call about and I think what's happened in the past at Greenbrier High School was they had a more like a small committee.
Yep.
And they had different,
Q&A.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, different veterans. And I think that's great because it takes everything off of one, but it gives different perspectives.
Right.
Maybe you have a younger veteran, older veterans. So I think it's a great idea to have that perspective to our young ones.
And that's what they do. And it is just wonderful. I remember my first time, my first year, and seeing what they did. It just made my heart just very, very happy. And they always tap the ones that are, they reach out first to the staff and teachers that are within the school that are veterans, because it just reinforces to the kids, hey, Coach Offit's a veteran, and Corporal Rippey is a veteran, and different ones like that. We have the different ones that are within the school that come up and they'll be part of the Q&A. And I think that's wonderful when they get to hear from their teachers. Absolutely. That have actually served. And so I'm trying to work it out where my son can be there and serve, or can be there, because sometimes that was one thing Coach Wood had said, that since my son's a veteran, that would be kind of cool to have him there. So I don't know if he'll be able to work it out, but we are in fact in school on the 11th. So that is a school day. So there you go. We are not out on Veterans Day. Just let you know that right now. But anyway, we're talking with Scott Erwin, and he is here for the Veteran Service Office. I'm looking at this calendar, just kind of a little reminder. Robertson County, you're actually off on the 4th and 5th because teachers have a professional development day on that Monday, the 4th, and then the 5th is election day. And we cannot be in school on election day because some of the schools are used as polling positions. So you'll be off the 4th and 5th, but you will be in school on Veterans Day. And I'm sure Coach Wood will have a wonderful presentation for us once again in the auditorium. So you'll have to come be a part of that maybe.
I'm sure the office, we're gonna be out and about.
Oh yeah.
We're closed that day. but I think we're going to probably the three of us are going to be spread out.
There'll be all kinds of events going on, and just man, get your kids out to if you happen to have little ones or something going on, get your kids to Veterans Day events that weekend. Just talk to them about their freedom's not free. I talk a lot about it in my classroom, and a lot of kids just don't really think about it. They just don't think about it, but. It's coming up. Veterans Day will be upon us before we blink. So if you're a veteran, make your list of all the places you're going to go eat for free. Save up, diet a couple of weeks before. That's what my kid always does is he's like, okay, I got to cut back this couple of weeks because I'm going to hit it all on Veterans Day.
And there's plenty.
So, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of them. We love that you do that. All of y'all that do something for our veterans on Veterans Day. That's wonderful. But they have to pace themselves. So, there you go. So what else have you got for us?
So something coming up in Clarksville. The Vet Center is it's a location where veterans can go for counseling. Okay, there's a Vet Center off of McGavick Pike in Nashville, and then there's a location. They're going to have a grand opening in Clarksville. They used to be in a joint building. Now they're going to have their own separate location. And it's going to be, Clarksville Vet Center grand opening Wednesday, October the 9th at 11 a.m. And there's going to be different speakers at this event. Of course, you can tour the facility. And as our office is always, for years, has been pushing the Vet Center. Because the Vet Center, I can tell you, we just visited a week ago the Vet Center off of McGavick Pike. It's in an older strip mall, and there's nothing else there but the Vet Center. And so it's quiet. When you walk into the building, it's very nice. It's well maintained. It doesn't feel like an office. They have coffee, and the counseling they offer is individual. It can be group. That day we showed up, me, Gwen, and Abigail. There was a group of about 15 veterans meeting. Oftentimes these veterans will meet once a week, once a month, depending on how often is needed. And these veterans, they really just develop a brotherhood. And I've spoken to veterans in the office who say, Scott, this is the best thing. I've been married for 50 years and my marriage has never been better because these veterans were able to get into some good counseling. They felt heard and listened to. And I can't say enough good things about the Vet Center. So the one that's opening up in Clarksville, our office will be there on that day. So certainly just to kind of be a part of the events and participate. But if you're available on Wednesday, October the 9th at 11 a.m., the address that they're going to be physically located at is 141 Chesapeake Lane, Suite 101 in Clarksville. So Wednesday, October the 9th, 11 a.m. and off of Chesapeake Lane. Again, if you would like, to get some more information about anything that we discussed this morning, just call the office and we can make sure they get the details.
The Vet Center, I guess there's locations around the Middle Tennessee area. Is this the newest one, I'm guessing?
Clarksville Vet Center has been there since when I was up.
They're just changing
They're getting their own dedicated spot. Yeah.
Right. You just said that, and that just slipped past me. I guess I was thinking about, because I've got a veteran that's on the other side of Nashville, though. So are there offices out that way?
Right now, there's just McGavick.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, and the one off in Clarksville.
Okay.
So there's about 4 or 5 counselors there at each location. And it's done well because, my veteran isn't having to go downtown Nashville. I don't do well driving in downtown Nashville. So I go to the VA clinic in Gallatin for my routine visits. So it's closer, it's outside of town. And McGavick is the same way. It's on the outskirts of Nashville. So and the Vet Center, when I got here years ago, was typically geared toward combat veterans and some more special groups. But now what we were told a week ago was any veteran It's open to all veterans. If you were stateside the whole time, never deployed, and there's a need for they do marital counseling,
Oh, wow.
family counseling. I mean, again, this is stuff that's very expensive on the outside, depending on if your insurance covers it. The only thing they're going to need from you is a DD 214.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't look at your character of discharge as much as we have to.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, if you got a DD 214 that says you served and you're interested and need the assistance, go see them.
Okay. Very, very good. And again, is that when opening the new offices in Clarksville that you're going to be there?
Wednesday, October the 9th, 11 a.m.
Okay. So that's another thing that you veterans can go be a part of. There's so many amazing things, so many amazing programs. I was actually, do you know Christy Driscoll? She is a chief. What is her title now? She just got this big promotion. It's the highest rank you can get as a non-commissioned officer.
Okay.
And so she was promoted to chief something. I can't remember, but works at the armory up in Nashville.
Okay.
In cyber, and she's just a very interesting person, and I just love her. She's my friend, and congratulations again, Christy. But she was talking when they did her promotion thing. Listen to me, non-military, but it was so cool because she talked to the group of people that she works with and that she heads, and she said one of the main things she wanted to say to them is don't miss out on the things that are available for you, because she says there are programs out there now for our veterans and for our service people that are active veterans, whatever it might be. She goes, there's so many things now. Mm-hmm. Don't miss those things while you're in and while you're sacrificing and doing what you're doing. If there's programs that are available to you, please tap into them. And I think it's one of the reasons why she mentioned it. She's in the middle of getting a master's right now at Lipscomb that's completely provided. But there are programs like that. There's so many things out there that you just don't know about if you don't tap into your veteran service office to say, hey, you want to go golf? Come on. You know, we've got this counseling, and I mean, the art classes, I mean, that's something too. Are they still doing those art classes?
Yes, ma'am, they are. And that's
just all kinds of things, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Was something I'm going to mention about there's so much available to our veterans. Robertson County, and our office has been working for a few months now with the Chamber of Commerce and with the small-owned veteran businesses and the coffee and camaraderie that's every month. And we're trying to make sure we're involved in those different community events. Probably less than a month ago, me, Abigail, and Gwen were out setting flags along 41 in front of Springford Memorial Gardens.
For 9/11. Right.
And there were over 3,000 flags we set. And the reason I bring this up is because as I looked around, there were probably, 25 of us out there. Older veterans, older non-veterans. I'm really, I'm hoping that we start kind of engaging with the younger ones somehow to get them involved, because you just said it a few minutes ago. It's not free. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that was, sacrificed for us to have what we have and be able to get to do what we do, to vote. So, these younger ones, these younger veterans, the younger kids, they need to know about Veterans Day. Dad, what'd you do? Tell me about what you did. Didn't have to get into details, but it's just, I think it's hugely important. I just hope that we get our younger ones engaged, because we go to our VFW meetings and our American Legion meetings, and the dedication of a lot of our older veterans is there. They're proud to serve, proud to have served and still serving. But I hope that doesn't get lost. Mm-hmm. And so, really our younger ones, I'll be 50 soon. I don't know that I'm that young anymore, but it just seems like I retired. I retired 10 years ago. And, if the younger ones have questions, that's something definitely on my radar, because the ones in high school, I want to start getting more involved with, these Q&As at the schools, stuff like that.
These younger guys, and that's a good point, because I think so much. Well, I was headed to school and saw you guys putting the flags in, and I thought it was some older folks out there, and I saw the drills because the ground was so hard.
Yes.
It was something else, but it was a beautiful display. And the things that we do when we go to, we have events for on Vietnam Vets Day and different things like that, and the ones that come out and do the rifles and all of that, they're older guys.
They are.
They're older guys, and we need. I mean, I'll talk to my kiddo and say, "Hey, you need to be involved in some of these things, and start, carrying the guns at the honorary ceremonies and things like that." But how would somebody, if some of these younger guys say, "Yeah, I want to do that," how would they get involved? Who do they do?
Call
they
us.
Talk to you.
Please call the office.
And you can put them to the guys who are in charge of that.
Yeah, and
some local guys that take that.
And there's a lot of organizations. Some of the bigger ones, the American Legion, the VFW. It's not simply be a member. The reason you become a member is because when there are laws and legislation that are coming through the system here in America and on Capitol Hill, the Legion and the VFW, they have representatives up on that hill, and lobbying for certain benefits, our benefits. There are a lot of benefits. Widowed spouses who lose their husband, or a husband who loses his wife who is a veteran. There's a program called dependency compensation. That program 10, 15 years ago did not exist. So when a veteran passed away, the spouse got nothing. So because of the organizations that are in place, the VFW, the Legion, the DAV, the different ones, now it's part of the benefits that were rolled out to widowed spouses. So becoming a member, there's a lot of coming up during Christmas. We're going to be handing out, I think we handed out food boxes last year, 80 boxes, and Gwen and I were up in Clarksville, so we're just delivering all these boxes to needy families around the area. There's a lot of outreach that these programs do, and we could use some help with, because it's hard to commit. We have the turkey shoot I'll talk about coming up.
Oh, yes.
It's hard to commit every single Saturday. So when we have more to pull from and to help, the easier it is on everybody.
Mm-hmm. So. But and the turkey shoot is something we've got to make sure we don't forget, or Gwen will get us for sure. She'll be like, "I can't believe y'all didn't do that." You've got your stack of papers there. We need to do a break though, because I was just looking at the clock, Scott, and it's almost 20 till, and we haven't taken one of our breaks. So we need to talk about our sponsors, and we appreciate them so much. We always talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. You know them well if you listen to the show, because they are experts in real estate, and they're just good friends, good people. Barry is the marketer. Rebecca is one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. We talk a lot about that because there's a lot of folks that are in situations where they have some land. Maybe the kids have moved off and they're not going to be coming back. So you don't really need to hang on to the family land any longer. And what's the best way to downsize? How do I do this? And Rebecca's been specifically trying to help you with anything in that regard. You've got the marketer of the bunch, Barry, 17 years. He was vice president of a media marketing company up in Nashville. So he knows his stuff. And he can make sure that your property pops when people are flipping through it. People, they swipe just like they date now. They get those apps and they're just like flipping through. And if your property does not stand out, number one, you got to catch their eye with the photography. And then when they stop on that, they need to see, oh, there's a walkthrough tour. Oh, there's some drone footage. There's some video. And that's what they need to find. And that's what you're going to find when you work with Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. He is the broker. He is here in Springfield. And she is the agent up in White House. They have those two offices. They're all part of the Exit Tree. But they started a new branch in the Exit Tree. They're Exit Prime Realty. They were with the Garden Gate team for many, many years. But they've got their own little thing going now. And but they still work with all the resources that they had before. Just a little bit of a different name, Exit Prime Realty. You can call Rebecca at 615-504-7425, 504-7425. Connect with them at sellwithbecky.com or buy.robertsoncounty.com. And two, just remember that they specialize in Robertson County properties because they're one of us. They've been here for nearly 30 years up in Cross Plains. But they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky because, like me, they're from Kentucky. So they can help you out all the way around. Let them know, too, that U-Turn sent you. All right. So what are we going to next, Scott? Are we going to go straight into
Talk about the turkey shoot that's coming up. The turkey shoot has been a really good fundraiser for the American Legion. There are expenses incurred, on their end, but they've had such a good turnout over the last several years, and a lot of veterans come and say it's the best one around. It's the best one. It's ran. They have good breakfast there that you can purchase, and it's cheap. And so if you love good biscuits and gravy, I know Miss Barbara, Terry's wife, she always has that out there. So the Saturday, October the 5th, is the start of the annual turkey shoot. The sign-up start at 7:30 a.m., and the shooting starts at 8 a.m., and it's going to run till noon or until there's not enough shooters to fill around. Okay. So they hold, 18 to 20 rounds of 15 shooters. And so
that's a lot of folks.
It's a lot of folks. And you show up there at 7:30, you can get signed up, you put your name on the list, what rounds you want to shoot. If you're not able to stay later in the day, you sign up for the earlier rounds. And it's a good time. They have the good bacon and the turkey giveaways for the shooters. So, and that will run, runs through toward the end of November is the last one.
Okay.
So it'll be all of October, all of November.
Okay, and we're talking, it starts a week from Saturday. That date you gave is a week from Saturday, y'all. Yeah. We're just about done with September. And October's knocking on the door. So
we'll be there. We'll be there this Saturday. Okay. A few of us. We're just going to help make sure the lanes are cleaned up and they're ready to go. And then the week after that, we start.
So how does it work? I mean, you're not shooting skeet; you're shooting a target.
You are. They put a small paper turkey out on the target. You have a firing line, and there's 15 firing lanes, and they go by turn. They have 410, 20 gauge, 12 gauge barrel shotguns, and they can't be modified or special. I know the lane will check them when you show up, and it's just we have veterans who come out who can't get around much. They'll stay in a chair and they'll sit there at their lane till it's their turn. And you have younger ones. I love to see the kids come out. They'll be 10 years old and shooting a shotgun. And if their little BB happens to be closest to the middle of the target, they win.
That's great.
And so it's fun.
I know Chris Orndorff comes out with his grandson, and he's apparently a pretty good shot, I've heard. Of course, that's Chris telling me that, so I don't know. Yeah, of course. But I think that's great, and you can get them started. What would be the youngest a kid could come out and be shooting?
You know what? I've been out there many times. As far as I know, as long as it's safety and it's safe, there's been no limit. I've seen little ones out there.
Yeah.
So as long as Dad's there to help hold that gun up, and it can be pointed the right direction, I think we're good.
Okay, very good. And so it's up to you when you think your child's ready to do that. And some kids are getting started really young, and it's great because we need to be teaching respect for weapons and those types of lessons that we've just missed. We haven't been doing that. There's so many kids that we talk with, Caleb Stratton, from Wildlife Resources, and they used to have all kinds of hunting safety classes, and you just don't have people seeking those as much anymore because they've just kind of gotten away from it, and it's just so much fun. I love to shoot. It's a lot of fun.
I grew up with it, hunting and fishing. They're meant to be respected. You know, you don't have to be afraid of it.
Right.
Just know the safety about it, and
do it right.
Always treat it loaded. They're just the basics.
Yeah, for sure. It's so fun when especially when you've served, you have a different respect and a different understanding of weapons, and it's always fun to watch my kid handle weapons versus the others because he spent so many years with one in his hand all the time. And so you just learn to break them down and put them back together, and it's just kind of fun to watch. How can you still break them down really fast?
Oh, a little rusty.
Okay,
A little rusty, but I have plenty. I love them. Once I start, it kind of it's hand eye. It comes back.
It comes back to you. But it's funny to watch when you see a veteran break down a gun versus somebody that's just a novice. It's the difference between night and day.
Yeah.
Because you're tested on that stuff.
We are.
Yeah, constantly.
Keeping them clean and functional.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's something else. We're talking with Scott Erwin. He is with the Veteran Service Office. Again, we've covered a lot of stuff. We'll kind of recap here at the end, but Turkey Shoot was the one we just covered. That starts a week from Saturday. And we'll go back through in a moment and just kind of go through all the highlights events. But what else have you got?
Something that's coming up on the 14th of October, and this is the big one that can affects veterans, non-veterans. It is apparently there's some big Medicare changes coming out in 2025. I haven't done the research to see what's changing, good, bad, but these are things that might be affecting your monthly medical prescriptions. So Christy Pope, who's our local subject matter expert on Medicare, she will be at the American Legion on the 14th of October. The social time starts at 9 a.m. And I've told Gwen and Abigail our office is going to be there on the 14th of October from 9 a.m. to noon. We're going to plan to be there at least that time frame. And depending on how busy the turnout gets to be, we'll stay as late as we need to.
Okay.
And the office is there to answer questions from the VA side, spouse benefits, pensions, disability compensation. But it's really important. I let Gwen and Abigail know yesterday, we need to certainly be in the know on these Medicare changes that are coming out in 25, because Christy was saying there's some big ones, and so I'm interested in finding out what they are.
Oh yeah, for sure. I had not heard this at all.
Yeah.
So that's something that we all need to be aware of, especially as we get older. I'm quite a bit older than you, so I'm knocking on those doors. But that's something that all of us need to hear a little bit more about. And give me the date of that again that you're going to be talking about that.
It is 14 October, and it starts at 9 a.m. at the American Legion.
Okay.
In Greenbrier.
Of October. And you can't miss it right there in Greenbrier. It's right there. If you're going into Nashville and get into Greenbrier, it's on the right. You'll see the flags. You'll know you're there. But that's where they have the turkey shoot, too.
It is.
So you can't miss that either. So many things going on. I'll tell you what, it's just about 10 till. Let me do my last break. And we'll come back and you got some more things we haven't talked about, just one more thing. And then, so we'll come back and do that one more thing. And then we're going to recap everything, just little bits and pieces to make sure if you're just joining us, you know that there's a lot of stuff happening here in Robertson County for our veterans. We want to remind you too that one of our favorite places to talk about is Veterans Motorplex at the Rim, at the historic Highland Rim Speedway. If you've not been to the races, guys, we're knocking on the door of October. Racing season is March to October. We are getting very close to the end of our racing season, and rain can cancel races and things like that. So if you want to get to the races where the season's over, you got to get doing it. And you want to get out there and see the track, because they have done some great renovations out there. It's absolutely beautiful. It is a fun time for your entire family. Family friendly. A $40 ticket will get the whole household in, guys. You can take up to 6 kids and 2 adults for $40. Get in there. They got a great concession stand, all reasonably priced. And a lot of the local kids work in that concession stand. It is a lot of them's first time summer. It's their first job that they have. But there's so many fun things happening out at Veterans Motorplex. They're in the middle of a doubleheader right now. They started the Legends and the Bandoleros last weekend. They're going to continue with this big doubleheader event. It is the Legends and the Bandoleros, and it is happening this Saturday. Gates will open about 4:15. Racing starts at 7. Don't forget about that $40 ticket price and get everybody in, or a $15 ticket price of normal admission. I think they've got a $12 ticket for seniors, and I think that's applicable too to our veterans. But special ticket prices, but that big one is that $40 family pack. And then you get in and have just a great time with great concessions, and they do games and big wheel races and things like that for the kiddos too. It's a fun, family-friendly environment, and so exciting to watch those cars zip around that track. It is one of the best kept secrets in Robertson County, but it's historical. It's been there a long time, and you don't want to miss it before the season ends. Get out to the races. Veterans at Motorplex at the Rim, the historic Highland Rim Speedway, Follow them at Highland Rim Speedway so you know all about the things going on, the schedule, and if there is a rain delay or cancellation. That's related. What was the one event that you have not mentioned yet?
So we've mentioned it before on the show. It's a monthly event. It's probably been going on for 4 to 5 months now. It's ran by the Mont Haven Cultural Arts Center out in Hendersonville, and it's a program called Between the Lines, which is it's meant to be therapeutic art therapy. Mm-hmm. And the reason I bring it up is because I know that Terry attends. He loves it. And I'm meeting more veterans when I'm out and about or in the office or at the meetings that say that this art program has been very beneficial.
That's cool.
It's held on the second and the fourth Wednesday of every month, and it starts at 1:00. Again, that's at the American Legion. And it's open to veterans, veteran spouses, surviving spouses, first responders, their spouses. So it's not just veterans. And you don't have to bring anything with you. Just bring a good attitude, open mind, and it costs nothing to join. It's free. Mm-hmm. And so really it's just art therapy. Like you have music therapy, this is just art. Mm-hmm. And they one cool thing is I saw that they were working on was, everyone has a mask. And so you paint on the outside of the mask what people see. Mm-hmm. But then on the inside of the mask is more of what you feel.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a lot of deep meaning to it. And I thought that was interesting when I saw that at the Legion. So, again, that's the second and fourth Wednesday of every month. It starts at 1:00 there at the American Legion. Mm-hmm. And it's free. So just come out and socialize and maybe you might be surprised.
And the types of things that people do just to kind of help them calm their minds and cope. It's amazing. And art is something, that's something I think all of us forget. We used to be trained in the arts. Mm-hmm. Before we had all the things to distract us, all the devices to distract us. Part of your training 100 years ago, if you went to school, you would have art, you would have music, you would learn about these things. We all have it in us. We just have to develop it. And so I find so many people that have never taken an art class, and all of a sudden they take an art class and they go, I can draw, I can paint. I didn't know I could do this. And it just takes some instruction.
If you're able to put this down for long enough,
yeah,
that cell phone,
that's right.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, it's neat. And I love that they're doing these things for our veterans. As soon as you mentioned the golf thing, I mean, the art thing came to mind because Phil Valentine used to always like to say, if it's free, it's for me. So, for the veterans, these are free services. So if it's free, it's for you. And we want you to come out and take advantage of it. So we've covered a lot of stuff. So let's go back through it, Scott. We've got about 7 minutes. Let's go back through it. Keep your notes handy. If you have any questions, you can reach out to the office, and we'll give that number a couple of times here at the end of the show. So go for it.
So PGA Hope, they're going to be doing their annual Springfield Fall event, which starts on October the 7th, which is a Monday. It's going to be at Legacy Golf Course, and it's at 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Register as soon as you can, because I don't know that there is a deadline for the cutoff for the registration, but it's open right now. It's going to be starting Monday, October the 7th. It's going to be for 6 weeks. And it doesn't cost you anything. If you don't have clubs, just show up. And there's going to be PGA professionals and LPGA professionals on the ladies' side teaching these lessons that it's going to include. There's some short game things they're going to do, but also they're going to play 9 holes on the course. That's not going to cost you anything. And so it's just good to come out and be with other veterans. The way you can register right now is through www.pgareach.org. That's pgareach.org.
Very good. And that's I turn my mic back up. That's one of those things. If you're a golfer, it's expensive to get time on the golf course.
It is.
So there you go. You got 6 days you can go golf for free and do 9 holes. Can't beat that, and get some training too. So very good. What's next?
We talked about the the Clarksville Vet Center grand opening. They're going to have their own special location. It's coming up on Wednesday, October the 9th at 11 a.m., and that's in Clarksville, Tennessee, the 141 Chesapeake Lane. Like I said earlier, our office would be there. It's a good organization that offers counseling. They don't do medications. They offer really good counseling for our veterans who they offer family counseling as well. So, again, they're going to have their grand opening Wednesday, October the 9th at 11 a.m.
Very good. And keep going. Remind you, too, I think Lee Marie will be coming in because it's the Wednesday. It's the Go Show Day. So she'll be coming in here. We won't be finished at 8. Show will continue with whoever she has coming in at 8 o'clock. And she'll talk about all kinds of events. And I bet she'll make a list of these events and keep pushing them out as well. So what else have you got?
Daughters of the American Revolution, Veteran Celebration, Chili Lunch. That's coming up on November the 9th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is RSVP. And if you call the office, we can make sure you get the number. There is Miss Becky Gunn you can RSVP with. Her number is 615-308-7879. Becky Gunn, that's 615-308-7879. And it's going to be held November the 9th, 11 a.m. at Springfield United Methodist Church.
Okay. And again, just a wonderful chance for some folks to love on you, veterans, and keep going.
So the turkey shoot, we hope to see you come out. It's going to be starting October the 5th. It's going to last all the way through Thanksgiving in November. It starts on the 5th. Sign-up start at 7:30 a.m. Shooting starts at 8 a.m. every Saturday. They're going to run until noon or until there's not enough shooters to fill the lanes. And some good prizes out there to win, fun to be had. If you can make it, as often as you can. I know it's every Saturday. My son and I'll go out. We don't make every Saturday, but we do come out to that event. It's fun.
Do you pay per lane that you want to do? Is that how it works? I mean, how does that work?
You pay per round.
Per round.
Per round.
Okay.
So they might hold 20 different rounds, and it's a few bucks to shoot per round. But if you only want to be there for rounds, 3, 4, and 5, because you don't want to stay or not able to stay as late in the day, just sign up for the early rounds. They have the money rounds where if you get closest to the middle, you can get, half the pot.
Okay.
Of whatever the money was, and that might be $60.
Okay.
So there's a lot of shooters that come out. It's always a good time.
Okay, fun stuff. So I wasn't really sure because you don't have to register for the whole day. You can just register for each round. So very cool.
Yep.
And then the last thing is one more, right? Or two more?
Pretty much that's it. Just really the Medicare changes coming up in 25. In 2025, that's going to be Monday, October the 14th. There at the American Legion starting at 9 a.m. Our office is going to be there. Christy Pope is going to be there to address any Medicare questions and specifics. Mm-hmm. Our office will be there to address the benefit side from the VA. And it's just really an open Q&A. I think it's going to be informative. I know they've had this in the past, but this one, based on these changes that are coming out in 25, I'm kind of excited to, hopefully they're good changes, but I'm excited to learn more about that.
Well, and I pulled it up just real quickly. It looks like a lot of it has to do with prescription drugs. I mean, a lot of it. So I don't know, but that's just the first thing that pops up is how Medicare drug coverage changes will impact you in 2025. That's the headline I got.
And that can be a little scary with the cost of these medications.
For sure. And then you also let's mention the art classes one more time too, because
yes,
I know
ma'am.
That's one thing.
So Between the Lines Art Therapy, it's the second and fourth Wednesday of every month. So in October, it's going to be the 9th and the 23rd. It starts at 1 o'clock at the American Legion. Again, there's no cost to join. Just bring yourself. It's open to veterans, their spouses, first responders, surviving spouses. And you just come with, a good attitude and to meet new people.
Very good. Very good. And tell them your office hours, how to get you, what days you're there, what days you're working remotely, and all those things. Unpack it, and then that'll be our out, and we'll have Lee Marie come in here for the Ghost Show.
So if you call us Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 at 615-382-6506, 615-382-6506, you're going to reach myself, Gwen, or Abigail. We're available Monday through Friday. Typically, we do our office appointments on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do walk-ins on Wednesdays. And Mondays and Fridays, we do work remote from home, but we are reachable 5 days a week. If you've got our cards, I'm checking my work email 7 days a week. So, and I'm very quick to respond if you shoot us an email. County website has our address on it to where you can log on and email us that way as well. So, one thing I will say is if you cannot get to us on a Monday through Friday during business hours, please let us know, let me know, and I will come see you
Awesome.
at your house. I'll come visit you at the assisted living. So whatever it takes to make sure you get what you need, we're here.
Outstanding. Scott Erwin and Abigail Gwynn, all the folks there at the Veteran Service Office. We got the best one in the country. We are just rocking it. And thank you for joining us here today. Thank you, Scott, for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you guys for joining us for One Street Over. We are not finished because today is